The countries of Pakistan and Iran may have accidentally just started their own war in the Middle East. I don't think anyone saw this coming because you don't typically hear about Iran going after Pakistan or Pakistan going after Iran. Right now, the narrative is Iranian proxy units going after US targets, but everything has seemed to change. Pakistan has attacked Iranian territory and Iran has attacked Pakistani territory. So what the heck is going on? Please stick with me in this video because this might be the new military strategy in the Middle East. Go after a militia group that happens to be on a country's sovereign territory and say, oops, we didn't know we'd hurt other people. Okay, and to make things even more confusing, the countries of Pakistan and Iran both share one common enemy, and Iran decided to strike this enemy on Pakistani territory without letting anyone know, and Pakistan says, well, we're just going to strike back the same enemy opponent without letting Iran know, and now they are both extremely pissed off, and the Middle East finds themselves in a new situation. Remember this, Pakistan has nukes, so we cannot take this as a joke, people. Okay, so first things first, both of these countries share a province known as Baluchistan. These are a separatist group of Sunni Muslims who don't identify as Iranian, they don't identify as Pakistani, they cannot stand these two countries, and look, these two countries cannot stand these separatists. Essentially, these separatists, they will attack Iranians and they will attack Pakistani military members to stay away from their people. And so because of this, both of these countries have identified them essentially as a terror group, and they cannot stand them. Pakistan and Iran has been trying to regain sovereign control of these territories. Now look, we can do a whole history lesson on who these separatists are, and maybe one day I will. But again, let's stick to what exactly is happening. What you need to understand is, out of nowhere, Iran has decided, you know what, we're going to strike these separatist people, which is not uncommon, but we're going to strike them on Pakistani territory. The only issue is Iran did this without notifying anyone, and I really should put this part of the story in here. Iran has also decided to strike Iraq and also decided to strike Syria without letting anyone know. They just decided, you know what, this is a great idea. They're a terror group and we're going to go after them preemptively. Well, the only issue is this. According to Pakistani officials and sources, Iran took out 2 children and wounded several others, and it absolutely pissed off everyone in Pakistan to the point where Pakistan pulled their ambassador out of Iran, which pretty much means Pakistan has closed the door to Iran to talk to them about anything, and any sort of hope of having bilateral communications or relations is absolutely gone for now. Now, to make things even more confusing is that Iran kept putting the moniker out there of, why are you guys mad at us? We're going after a common enemy here. Yeah, we may have attacked your country, Iraq, Syria, and Pakistan, but look, we're going after the bad guy. You should be thanking us. Now, this obviously totally backfired, and Pakistan did something I don't think anyone expected. Usually when things like this happen, you know, it's just like a 1 week of we're really mad at one another, but this actually festered up into a retaliation strike from Pakistan. But Pakistan did something I don't think we've seen so far in the Middle East with the current context of what's happening. They decided to strike back the same separatist group, but on Iranian territory, and Pakistan called it a precise or precision strike on this separatist group. Now, Iran says that 7 people were taken out from this strike, 3 women and 4 children. You can see where there's a really big issue here between the two countries when both countries took out these separatist people having to be children. Now, the very big cause for concern is this. When 2 countries, one of them having a nuclear arsenal and the other one, Iran, having a militia group who does whatever they want, like between the Houthis, Hezbollah, like Iran can send coordinated attacks within Pakistan and use their really bad guy units to do it. You can't say the word here on YouTube. I know it's stupid. Nonetheless, the reason why this is an issue, when these 2 countries share a common enemy and they're not able to coordinate or talk to one another, I get if they want to go after or do preemptive strikes, but when that preemptive strike is in the middle of a civilian population and you take out children, this is means or escalations for war. Now, the country of Iran has not specifically been extremely active in the Middle East. Like, Iran has not publicly come out and said, we have done these attacks or we're going after coordinated strikes throughout the Middle East. They're typically using their Iranian-backed militia groups. Again, Hezbollah, Houthis, Hamas, things like that. This is the first time we're actually seeing where the big country of Iran, utilizing their Revolutionary Guard, is publicly stating, we take full responsibility of this. Once Iran does this and takes full responsibility, this gives cause and justification for Pakistan to take retaliation strikes. Now, Iran has never strayed away from fighting back. I'll give Iran that. When the U.S. military decided to go after a massive Iranian general back in 2020 over in Iraq, Iran struck back and actually went after U.S. military targets. Luckily, a war was not started over this, but again, the main thing is this. The ball is back in Iran's court, and it looks like they are heavily active throughout the Middle East. It seems like they feel they're backed into a corner where they are so willing to go after territories and provinces throughout the Middle East. Iraq, Pakistan, and Syria. And look, Iran is totally okay, it looks like, with trying to play the victim card. Whoa, you came after us, forgetting that they are the first ones to go after these strikes. Something else we need to point out is that a lot of people are pointing to Iran for conducting these strikes first because they wanted to show that they have the capabilities to strike throughout the Middle East. They went after targets in Iraq. They went after targets in Pakistan. They went after targets in Syria, not exactly at the same time, but around the same day, within like a 12-hour period. And the United States, again, at the time when Iran conducted these attacks, the United States was heavily active within the Houthis and heavily active in Iraq. And Iran, again, wanted to show some force or show that they have the capabilities to strike wherever if need be. The main reason why I'm saying this is because the actual location where Iran struck in Iraq, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Pakistan, but this is very relevant, it was right down the road from the U.S. military headquarters that is in charge of all U.S. operations in Iraq. So again, this is all relevant to the fact that Iran is totally okay with going after Pakistan, but you may have messed with the wrong country. I am not saying Pakistan would ever use their nukes on Iran, but it's a big issue when you go after a country who does have nukes, because they ultimately have that power to wipe you off the face of the earth. So I don't think anyone saw this coming. I think most people did see where Iran would go after Iraqi targets or go after Syria targets, where again, they did go after who they claimed to be enemies of Iran. They also claimed it was Israeli-tied militant groups. We don't have any facts based off of that. I don't know how children are backed by Israeli spies, but nonetheless, the attacks happening in Pakistan, I don't think anyone saw that coming, but this is a massive, and I mean massive, break for Israel and the United States, who are trying to keep everything all together. It looks like the focus in the Middle East is almost leaving Hamas and the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, and I think this is the opposite effect of what Iran wanted. Iran wants the world to focus on the Middle East and to focus on Israel, but it looks like all of the attention has been brought to Pakistan and Iran and the United States, who really don't have anything to do with the war in Israel, other than the fact that Iran is funding Hamas, and the United States is just trying to make sure no countries attack Israel from the outside. So again, this is becoming a very odd situation where Pakistan and Iran may have accidentally started their own wars. Both of these countries are A-okay with retaliating one another, but it does look like the strategy they may use is, we're not going after Iran, we're going after the separatist group who we always go after. So we'll see what happens. Again, unfortunately, women and children were taken out, but this is the Middle East right now. It's getting worse and worse and worse every single day, so we'll see what happens.